Welcome to our pool. We are excited to be launching a campaign to replace this pool. It has served Camp Susque for over 50 years, built in 1974. Now that we're in 2024, we're going to kind of give you some of the whys that we need to replace this pool, the reasons we need to make some improvements and do some adjustments. And to help me with that, we brought along Davis, who spends more time around and in the pool than anyone else. And he's smiling because he's very happy about this. So
very happy.
So first, let's Davis, why don't you walk us into the pool shed and tell us a little bit about where
I didn't know anyone was coming over. Forgive me, I didn't clean up. Don't have anything ready for you guys.
No snacks?
No snacks, no coffee, but welcome to our pool house. We have two large capacity sand filters. These sand filters are actually intended for residential sized pools, but they work for our current pool. But they are just at the edge of being able to handle the pool capacity. These filters, very badly, I do need to switch out the media in them, but it is kind of a question of, is it worth it? Do we just limp it through one more summer or not? So our filtration capacity is a little slower than I would like it to be. But we do have some very expensive spider valves over here that kind of dictate the direction that water flows through filters or backwashing. Each one of these valves has almost completely worn out and does not do a very good job at directing the flow of water through here. So we've had to add some other shut-off valves in the system to work inefficiently.
Davis, what about potential for downtime? Like if anything in here breaks, what are we looking at as far as redundancy and be able to maintain the pool during that time?
There is some redundancy. We do have two pumps and two filters that are able to run separately from one another. Unfortunately, again, because of the worn out spider valves, they don't work very well independently of one another. And they also, we're not able to get our full refill rate.
Okay.
Forgive me, flow rate, our full flow rate with just one pump.
So we're falling short of modern pool standards and expectations that we have. Like we're not out of compliance,
right?
But if this was built today, this would not be anywhere near compliance.
More or less. Additionally, we do not have an automated chemical feed program, so there have been some automatic chemical feeders over the years. I'm not sure why not all of them have lasted as long as others. But right now we are actually just feeding chemicals by hand, mostly by feel, well, with gloves on, of course, which means that we have to check chemical levels multiple times a day to keep up with PA standards for that.
So how many hours a day would you say is spent on just maintaining the pool, maintaining chemical levels, cleaning it, things like that?
If everything is going the way it should, I spend probably an hour a day around the pool.
How often is everything going the way it should? You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer.
Not super often.
Well, let's walk around the pool and look at some of the. I mean, this is not obviously what it normally looks like during the summer. During the winter, we have to maintain some water in the pool to protect the walls from collapse or anything like that, and that will continue with a new pool as well. So the color is a result of debris and algae and everything else. So trust me, this isn't what your campers swim in the summer.
This has been our solution to some septic. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So one significant consideration. This is going to make some people sad. It'll make me sad. One of the major issues that creates a lot of extra time cleaning this pool, and also impacts the temperature of this pool, is all these beautiful trees we have around the pool. I would say in the middle of summer, this pool gets less than 2 hours of full sunlight because of all the shade that we have, but also all the leaf debris that we have from these trees. Also, it encourages birds to be closer to the pool as well, and that brings debris. So this maple here in the pool area, the ash tree at the corner of the playground, potentially the white pine as well, this cedar and the ash next to the sidewalk there, all those trees are going to have to come down here in the next couple months to prepare for the new pool. And we don't like to lose trees, but those trees are a significant hindrance to the operation of the current pool, and certainly will be to the new pool as well. Without those trees, we're going to have a lot of extended sunlight on the pool, so it's going to be warmer. and a lot less leaf debris in it. Less leaf debris means less chemical treatment and less time spent cleaning out the pool.
Those all sound like good things. I'm sure these trees were a really good idea when the pool was built 50 years ago because they made really attractive landscaping. But now they're unfortunately causing problems for the pool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to making the same mistake. We're going to plant some new trees around it. We're going to try our very best to mimic I love the landscaping around our pool. That is a unique feature of this pool. We're going to do our best to mimic that with the new pool.
All right, Dave, so I'm seeing some patching here.
Yeah.
In the concrete and cracks kind of all over. That seems, I mean, it's 50 years old. This is what happens.
Concrete, there is concrete that has cracked and there is concrete that hasn't cracked yet. Generally, you try to control where those cracks go. But yeah, at this age, this sidewalk, this deck, it's done. So yeah, we've had to do a lot of patching over the past few years to maintain safety of it.
Now, Dave, probably the biggest challenge of the pool is the leaking.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about the leaking?
Yeah, so we have leaking that is underground. So we are losing water, I believe in a couple places. We're losing water at the joint in the pool where the concrete floor meets the fiberglass wall, steel wall, fiberglass or steel, I don't remember which it is. But that joint is problematic. So we have to put new, very, very expensive caulk in there every year because we're losing some water at those joints. But also we definitely have some leaking in the underground plumbing, stuff that is not able to be repaired without ripping the whole deck up again, which we did about 20 some years ago. And so time-wise,
part of the problem.
Yeah, and so looking at timeline-wise, yeah, that makes sense that about every 20 years you might have to rip this whole thing up to redo it. And we're coming up to that 20
We're at the stage
years.
now with the amount that this leaks on a daily basis during the summer. In order to keep this running into perpetuity, we would have to really rip up this decking and address all the plumbing issues.
Right. So our current solution has been to just continually add water, and we did not want to further stress our wells, which we already, summer camp takes a lot of water with how many people we have on the property. So we don't want to further stress our wells. So this past summer, we actually ran an electric pump from our creek into the pool almost 24/7 to bring water in here. That meant that we had more fresh water to treat with chemicals. That meant we were bringing 58-degree water into the pool all the time, keeping the nice refreshing temperature.
Yep.
It also meant that we had an ugly garden hose running all the way across camp all summer long. It also meant that we were not very hospitable neighbors to all the fishermen that love to fish around our bridge. We had a little electric pump that was running all the time. We took some steps to try to mitigate the extra excessive sound from it, but it still was there.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, anytime there was any kind of high water, we would have to stop, usually a little too late, because we'd either lose the pump, or we'd get a whole lot of dirty water in the pool, which caused even more issues.
Right. So no matter what you're doing, we did have sediment coming in through that pump, so we had to have a sediment catch basin set up at the edge of the pool. So we had I would like to describe it as a very fancy custom water feature. A little waterfall feature coming into that far corner of the pool. We'll have that again this summer. That'll be very exciting. But yeah, there were a couple times when high water events come and the water carries a little bit more sediment that our basin wasn't able to catch.
And not to mention, as pristine as Lake Humming Creek is, it's less pristine than a chlorine-treated pool. So we're introducing algae and bacteria to a pool, which requires more chemicals, which requires more. And we had days where we couldn't use the pool because we had full-on algae blooms.
We had one algae bloom this past year, which the algae bloom could be from creek water. It could also just be all of the leaf debris that we bring into the pool.
And I think one other thing just about the pool too is the pool, when we built this 50 years ago, our enrollment was a lot lower than it is now. And as a result, this is just no longer sized appropriately for the whole camp to join in. Now, unintentionally, we have the benefit that cold water is annually one of the biggest complaints from our campers and our staff, and limits the usage of the pool. A lot of campers don't want to use the pool because of the cold water, so that helps us a little bit in that we're never actually having everybody in here. But we want a pool that can be sized appropriately for our enrollment today and our enrollment in the future. As that is growing, we want to do more, and the new pool will also address the cold water issue by having a heater, so that we can, early on in the season, get the water up to temperature, keep it up to temperature because we have the sun shine regularly on it, and just have more options for programming activities in the pool area. So I think that's, the pool has served us so well for 50 years. We have example after example after example of wonderful memories and stories made in the pool. Even this guy has been in the pool a few times.
But no, dogs should not be in the pool.
Right, yeah, he was never in the pool. But really, this is the time we've been putting Band-Aids on this pool for years and years and years and years. Those Band-Aids are not cheap, they're costly, and ultimately we're maintaining a pool that isn't serving its purpose as well for us. So it's time to replace it, and some of the advantages of the replacements that you'll see in the pictures and the renderings are that it's accessible. For families with young children that are non-swimmers, also accessible for those that have mobility constraints. It'll have a essentially beachfront or a zero depth entry, so it'll start at the pool deck and then just slow grade down into the pool, which essentially serves as a splash pad for young kids, but also if there's a wheelchair or if there's any other mobility issues, no worry about ladders or jumping in or anything like that. A diving platform will be involved in this pool, just a variety of new features that you'll see in the renderings. But the reasons why we are doing this is because, unfortunately, as great as this pool has been and as a blessing as it's been to our organization for so long, it's no longer meeting our needs, and the cost to maintain it is extremely high, both in time and money. And we want to be better stewards of that money, so we need to replace the pool. I'll take this back, Davis. Any last closing thoughts about the pool and this project that you want to share about why we need a new pool?
Can't wait for the new pool.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time. It's going to be beautiful.
I can't wait for it either.
I think one of my favorite things about the design of the new pool is all the curved edges. One thing I do like about our current pool is it's an slightly irregular shape with the L shape, and it has curved corners, which makes clean it an absolute bear. But we want to mimic that with the new design. Lots of curved edges, which frankly are more expensive than straight corners, but we think that will make it fit in more organically with the existing landscape and further reflect like the beauty and glory of God's creation around us. These mountains are not a plain rectangle. These mountains have curves and lots of features to it, and this new pool should fit in quite nicely into it.
And Dave, not to get off track or anything, but we are coming up on Razor Region in a couple of days. And,
I thought we were filming this in the summer, last summer. No?
Now, you, in a meeting with our staff the other day, you had mentioned that if we hit our goals, you would be willing to jump into this pool in its current state this month. 10 times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we hit our goal, I'll do it 100 times.
100 times.
Yeah,
okay.
100 times.
We have record.
What's our goal? 300,000 was it?
120,000.
Okay, yeah, 120,000.
You'll jump in.
Now, hey, I'll do it once for every dollar. Every $10.
I'm just gonna edit it out so you say once for every dollar. So 120,000 jumps. That's what you'll be doing for the next 2 years. Is just jumping in. I don't know how you can do that all in the month of March, but we'll figure it out. So anyhow, we've got you on record. You are willing to jump into this gross nastiness a lot of times. And I would also say, for the record, Camp Susque is not responsible for any medical bills that result from the diseases you get from jumping into this unchlorinated water.
Not true.
So that being said, we'll say goodbye to Sawyer, to Bailey, and to Davis, and to me, and we'll see you during Razor Region.
Catch you on the other side of Razor Region.